when I think about the concept of self-identity, I think about purpose as well. So is there any difference between the purpose, or are they interwoven?
So your purpose is part of your identity.
Okay.
So your purpose is what almost, has necessitated, I'll use that word, the creation of you, right? So when I define identity, I define it based on 5 core layers. I call it the head to toe method of really understanding and embedding who we are, right? So the head, right, is understanding your head, where you come from. So the head, if you look at your head is sort of like the central part of you. Where have you come from? And for me, I don't believe that, anything can be said of us unless it's, linked to who created us. That is the eternal source. That is our God. So in that, I call it our layer of divinity. And our layer of divinity is what anchors us to what is greater than who we are, right? So you know that you're divine. You know that there is something that is much bigger than you. That is your layer of divinity. The second phase is what I would call sort of like your heart, right? I would say that is your purpose. So if you look at the head to toe method, the second is your heart. So your heart is central to all of what you are. It is the lifeblood of you, and it is what pumps blood around every part of your being. So your heart is your layer of purpose. So this is what describes what the being that is greater than you was thinking when they created you. So what is it that you have come on this earth to do? That is your layer of purpose, right? So you must know your divinity, you must know your purpose. The third is what I call your hands, right? And your hands, I refer to this as your layer of endowments. So your endowments are the gifts that you have been given to facilitate the purpose that you have been sent to support what the divine one sent you to do, right? So your layer of purpose, your layer of endowment speak to your natural abilities, your natural proclivities, the things that you can do that are better than the way other people do them, right? Those are your endowments. And if you don't know your purpose, this is what I say that is often helpful to people. If you don't feel like you know your purpose, your endowments give you an indication of what your purpose is. Like a farmer who goes to the farm, he may not know he's a farmer, but when he looks around, he's in a farm and he has a hoe, he has all the farming implements, he starts to guess, like, okay, this might be what I'm meant to be and use to deliver my purpose, right? The next one is the fourth one. So 5 levels. The fourth one, I call it our layer, I call it our legs. So not our foot, but just our legs, the thing that helps us stand right? So this layer is called our layer of influence. And when I speak about this layer, the way that I use to explain in a way that is easy for people to understand, it speaks to what we stand for, what we value, what we represent overarchingly. So our value system, a lot of them have been formed in childhood. So your mom gives birth to you and she says, this is a cup. You believe that it is because she said so. Before you had an opportunity to make good meanings or personal meanings from things, you were taught the meanings of the people who took care of you, the meanings of society, the meanings of culture, the meanings of everything around you, right? So you, in effect, and say, okay, these are the things that I've known previously, but this is how I choose to look at them going forward. So that's your layer of influence. What has influenced you in your growing up? So if like a seed that is coming out of the ground, everything that I spoke about earlier, the divinity, the purpose, and the endowments,
Yeah.
they are all under the ground. But influence starts to happen once you shoot out of the ground. So the sun, the light, what mommy said, that's where you have people who have been, who don't have maybe good self-esteem because their parents, when they were young, maybe compared them to their siblings, told them they were not good enough. All of that happens. So that is where parts of a lot of people's identity gets fractured, right? And then the final stage is the feet. So imagine the feet and you're going around, you leave footprints as you're going around. That is your layer of manifestation. That is how we show up in the world. That is how we are seen. So today, at some point, you're a student, Ibinabo. At some point, you become a mom. At some point, become a wife. Sorry, I didn't say it in the right order, but anyways, you get my name. At some point, your staff, and the manifestation layer is the most transient of layers. It buckets us into roles. And a lot of times in this role is where a lot of people get it wrong as well. So you say, my identity is a mother. No, you are much more than a mother. There is a divinity element of you. There's a purpose element of you. There is an endowment, a gift element of you. There are the value system element of you. You being a mom is a role you embody as part of your identity. It's not the totality of who you are, right? So this is what, the manifestation layer is the most transient of layers. Because as you go through life, it changes. But the other layers, understanding them well enough, underpin you such that you don't get carried away with the change. You are set. You're like cement. You are set. So whether you're showing up as a mom, the essence of Ibinabo is set underneath her. So it doesn't matter. I show up as a mom, I show up as a wife. I show up in all of my glory wherever I show up. So once you understand each of these, that is when you're starting to get this sum total of our self-construct that I described at the beginning. That's the sum total of who you are.
Fantastic. Tonbra, you know what? I've been writing. I'm more like a student than an interviewer because first and foremost, I'm mesmerized and blown away completely. And you were talking and I was writing. And the way you analyzed purpose and the way you intersected the meaning of identity and purpose, your explanation is one of the best that I've heard in my life.